What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope you all had a great weekend. Hope you all had a great day today. Um, Getting into this episode of GH, I enjoyed this episode. I feel like, honestly, with this Elizabeth stuff, Elizabeth needs to stop being naive when it comes to Betsy. I really do. And Scott was so rude to Betsy. I can't say that I blame him, but he blames Betsy for years that he didn't get to know Franco. But I'm like, you can't fully blame Betsy for that though. I mean, don't some of the blame go on Heather? Because Heather obviously knew. So she never told Scott that they had a child together. So you should be blaming crazy ass Heather Weber. Not really Betsy for it, blame Heather. Um, but I get why he's like standoffish with Betsy or whatever, because I wouldn't trust her nutty self either. Um, But yeah, I feel like Elizabeth is very naive when it comes to Betsy because she thinks that her mother-in-law is not dangerous or she wouldn't do anything. I'm like, Elizabeth, you need to learn how to read the room. Because for one, this woman has been in town for God knows how long and did not tell you. She claims that she came to town because it's the 1 year anniversary of Franco's death and she came to visit his grave. If that's the case, why didn't she tell Elizabeth she was coming to town? And she apparently sent this letter to her. So, talking about, oh, I'm thinking of you because I know we're both thinking of him. Why didn't you tell her that you were coming to town? How long have you been in town? Could it have been more than a day, 2 days, 3 days, a week? We don't know. Furthermore, when Elizabeth told her that she was seeing Finn, Betsy didn't look too pleased. She really didn't. She had this look on her face like she was not thrilled at all by that news. And she pretty much already told Elizabeth that she already knew about it because of social media or something like that. And I'm like, what your old butt doing on social media? Betsy don't look like an Instagram, Facebook kind of person. You know, I always saw Betsy as a straight up hippie or a technophobe or something, like she don't like technology or something. That's how I always seen her. I'm like, what you know about the internet? I'm just saying, like, she don't look like the type. But I mean, looks can be deceiving, I guess. But yeah, I wouldn't trust her. I would not trust her. It was good to see Scott. I'm glad Elizabeth is leaning on Scott with this information and stuff because I don't believe for a second Jake is the culprit. I don't want to believe it because I know him and Franco were close. And not only did he lose Franco, but he recently lost his father and stuff. So I know that must have hit him hard. Um, but I want to believe that he's not involved in this because I want to hope that he wouldn't torment his mother like that. You know what I mean? Like, why would he do? I'm just hoping that Elizabeth and her son are not having a break with reality, is what I'm hoping, because for a second there it was looking more like Elizabeth was starting to lose her shit. um, and then when Elizabeth get home, she found a portrait of herself hanging on her wall in her house. I'm like, no, 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 no. See, I don't like that. I don't like this crazy stuff now. This too much paranormal for my liking. Listen, she gonna have to get some cameras installed in that living room, or them little doorbell thingies with the camera on them. What they call them, rings? They call it a ring or something like that. She need to have that shit installed because I'm not liking this. I'm like, dude, this that voodoo witchcraft going on. I don't like this mess. And I wouldn't be surprised if Betsy somehow found a way to get up in her house because I'm starting to think it might be Betsy. I'm starting to think it could be. Um, Because, like I said, she pops into town. Don't tell Elizabeth. Who knows how long this woman has been in town? We don't know. You know, maybe she has access to Elizabeth's house. She probably could even have had access to Franco's studio. We don't know if Franco ever gave her a spare key to that studio or not. Because Elizabeth's keys were still in the house, so it couldn't have been her. Like I said, unless she had a break with reality and got a split personality or something, then it couldn't have been Elizabeth. Her keys are still there, unless one of the kids may have taken it, but I don't see them doing that. Like I said, Jake was close with Franco, so I don't see him burning down Franco's studio. And there would be some type of evidence to show that it was him. You know what I mean? Like something. But I don't think it was him. I don't think it was the kid. I hope not. I really, really hope not. But I'm starting to lean towards it could be Betsy. So I agree with Scott. She is definitely suspect number one in my book. I don't trust her crazy self. Especially that look on her face when she found out that Elizabeth was seeing somebody. Yeah, I don't trust her. I would definitely keep tabs on that nut ASAP. I would keep tabs on her. Um, I'm glad Elizabeth is getting a story though. I really am, and it seemed like it's intriguing because I'm intrigued. Me personally, I'm interested because we got a couple people who could be doing this, or Elizabeth could be doing this to herself and don't know it. I don't know, but I'm interested in seeing where this go. You know, what's the motive behind all of this? And the way Betsy was talking, you would think that Franco was still there the way that she was talking. So I'm like, yeah, she's probably having a little break with reality her damn self. Um. So anyway, moving on from that, I don't blame Sean for looking out for Alexis because after seeing Harmony with that forger, I don't blame him because at the end of the day, he looking out for his friend and he don't want to see her get dragged into none of Harmony's mess. Um, and I really wanted to give Harmony the benefit of the doubt, but yeah, at this point, you are not about to drag Natasha into your bullshit. I'm just saying because Alexis done been through way too much. The last thing she need is Harmony's drama. Um, and did y'all notice that when Nina walked in, Harmony kind of made this little funny looking face, like the way she looked at Nina when she walked in? I peeped that. I did peep that, and I'm like, why are you looking at her like that? Something tell I don't trust it. I don't trust this. Something tell me that they might be coming up with some story like that's why I said Harmony I think is continuing to lie. I don't think that story that she told Alexis about how Willow was born and stuff like that at the commune, I don't think that's a true story. I don't think it's totally true. Something tell me Harmony lying. Especially with the way she looked at Nina. Cause why she look at her but didn't say anything to her though? But you looking at her like that. I was confused. I'm like, why are you eyeballing her like that? Something ain't right with this. She lying. She is definitely lying. Then she's sitting there telling Sean, "Oh, Alexis is a big girl." Listen, Diane wasn't even here for Harmony either. Diane was not here for it. Diane was basically trying to warn Alexis as well. Like, do you really want to trust this woman? Because Diane is not here for the shenanigans either. And she's looking out for her friend as well because she really don't want to see Alexis get into no more drama at this point. She done been in way too much drama lately. She don't, she's finding her way out of it. She's proud of Alexis. Look how far she's come. You're now editor in chief of a magazine and stuff. She's proud and she's happy for her, but she don't want to see her get dragged down in Harmony's mess. And I agree. So when Harmony came up in the office or whatever, it was super funny because Alexis was like, "Oh, Diane's just leaving." Did y'all see the look on Diane's face when Alexis said she was just leaving? Diane looked at her like, "Oh, so I'm getting kicked out now?" I don't blame Diane. Diane was like, "Listen, I done been thrown out of better places." That is so trash. I'm like, listen, y'all not gonna do Diane like this. Y'all are not. That's what we not gonna do. We not gonna do my boo like this. Absolutely not. Um, so basically, Harmony admitted to Alexis that she did not tell Willow the truth, basically because she's afraid of losing Willow and Wiley. Um, and she told Alexis about how she's getting a new forged birth certificate. This is so stupid. I was pissed when Alexis said, "Well, you stood by me. You stood by me in Spring Ridge. I'm gonna stand by you." No, ma'am. No, no, ma'am. No, we're not standing by this dumb shit. I tried to give this woman the benefit of the doubt because she was making the steps to change, but I'm like, no, nope. Listen, when the Lord come to strike you down for your lies, I don't want Alexa standing nowhere next to you. Y'all think I'm playing? This woman is gonna go to hell with gasoline draws, and I'm not playing. I'm not even lying to you. Sitting up here lying and coming up with new forged documents. I'm like, listen, somebody gonna know that birth certificate is a forgery. Somebody gonna find out about this. You can't keep it a secret forever now. All it takes is for that forger to misstep one little thing on that birth certificate for somebody to pay attention to it, and they gonna know it's a forgery. And I bet you if Willow tried to use that birth certificate, she probably gonna fuck around and get detained, and it's gonna be a problem. I'm like, absolutely not. Nope. Nope. She might as well go ahead and tell Willow the truth. I was so mad when Alexa said, "I'm gonna stand by you." Ma'am, don't stand by her. Don't do this. I understand she was good to you in Spring Ridge, but you paid your debts. You have stood by her so far. You have been there for her. Don't no. And this is what Diane and Sean was trying to prevent, because even Diane was like, she's a manipulator. Don't do this. And I agree. Absolutely not. Alexis need to cut this friendship loose. She need to cut it short. Snip snip. Get rid of this. Nope. uh-uh. Absolutely not. Because you already know how it is when you find out a secret and you hold on to it. You know Michael and Willow probably gonna be like, oh, so you held on to the secret and ain't tell us? You know they're gonna be pissed. So why put yourself in the line of fire for her? Absolutely not. Nope. Let her go down by herself. She had ample opportunity to tell the truth. And Alexis felt like Harmony wasn't completely honest about that story either, about how Willow was born. Because she was trying to figure out, like, did you steal that child? Something ain't right with her story. I have a feeling there's way more to it than what Harmony said. I feel like Harmony gave a spin on the story. She put her own little twist on it to make it sound better than what it really is. Because I have a feeling that ain't what she claimed it to be. I don't know. Nope. I go digging. So anyway, moving on from that. I like the scenes with TJ and Sean. You know, I'm sad that Sean is leaving. But you know, I'm glad that TJ wasn't upset by it, because he understands, you know, it's for a great business opportunity. And besides, TJ got his own life. You know, him and Molly are busy with their careers and they're looking for a new place. They found a new place, which is good. I hope we get to see it soon. And you know, he could always visit Sean and stuff like that. And you know, he can always hop out to California to go see him. And of course, Sean is going to be making appearances in Port Charles and stuff after he gets settled. So, you know, it ain't like it's a goodbye. It's just, you know, I'm a plane ride away, maybe, you know, maybe even a car ride if you want to, you know, take a car road trip or whatever. But, you know, it's a plane ride away. Plus you got FaceTime and phone calls. So it ain't that deep. So I'm glad, you know, and plus Sean wanted, TJ to look in on Alexis and stuff, you know, to keep tabs and stuff and make sure, you know, she's straight and Harmony not leading her astray, which she currently is. But, you know, I'm going to miss Sean because I feel like there was a lot of opportunity for him. But, you know, it was his decision to leave and I respect it. Hopefully he could come back and play in Port Charles again. So anyway, moving on from that. I love the little back and forth between Nina and Drew. I was loving that. Because Nina was just over it at this point with everybody keep bringing up Nixon Falls to her. But I'm like, what do you expect? People gonna keep bringing it up. But it was kind of funny how she got that snarky attitude with Drew when he kept bringing it up to her. And she was like, can you please come up with something original? Because she was over it at this point. She was so sick and tired of hearing Drew bring up Nixon Falls. She was tired of it. But what irritated me about Nina was she kept talking about, oh, I try my best to stay away from Carly and yada, yada, yada. You ain't trying hard enough because you're always in places that she frequents. So it's like you're not trying. If you see her at the yoga studio, how about walk your ass away? You ain't got to be around her. Walk away. You choose to stay in there and engage in conversation. Like, you're making matters worse, but you claim that's not what you're trying to do, but you are doing that. Like, that's what you're doing. And I'm gonna need them to have Drew do something because it just seemed. I mean, I understand he's a friend to Carly or whatever, but I felt like in that scene with Nina, he was doing a bit much. It was like, sir, tone it down, calm down. It just seemed like they're just throwing him in a bunch of different stories right now. I'm like, listen, go about your day, please, and thank you. So yeah. Anyway, moving on from that. I enjoyed the Carly Sunny conversation. When her and Drew came over to tell him about Peter and stuff like that. And Carly decided to stay. And I'm actually glad she did because what I took away from that conversation, I felt like it was a closure conversation. And I think that's why a part of me feels like Carly stayed because she needed that closure because they both had the divorce papers. He had the papers on the table. She had hers in her purse, and they didn't sign them yet. And that's why I felt like that conversation was important. It was to get that closure. You know what I'm saying? To like really cement that this is the right thing for both of them to do. And I think at this point, Carly is tired of seeing Sunny around Nina at this point. She's tired of seeing it. And it just confirmed to her, like, yeah, this is like what we need to do. Especially when they started talking about Donna. Because Carly basically made it clear that whenever Donna comes over to stay with Sonny, she did not want Nina around her daughter. She was like, I can't speak for Avery because that's not my daughter, but as far as Donna, she was like, I don't want that chick around my daughter. And I can't say that I blame her on that. She has a right to voice her opinion on it. She do. Because that's half her child, and if she don't want her around, and besides, their divorce is not even final yet. They just now signed in papers or whatever. So she doesn't want to, confuse her daughter. Um, but Sonny finally told her about him being off his meds, and that's when Carly thought about it, and she remembers the run-in she had with Nina at the yoga studio, and that's when she knew Nina was trying to tell her Sonny was off his meds. But I agree with Nina. I agree with Carly on that point. Like, if Nina really wanted to tell her about it, she could have just blurted it out and said it instead of beating around the bush. Even if Sonny was like, oh, well, I don't want you to know. It don't matter. You still should have told somebody in his family. It didn't necessarily have to be Carly. Could have told Michael. Could have told Dante. Could have told Christina. Even if he told you not to, so what? He was bad. Like, he was going off the rails. His family needed to know. Don't get me wrong. Dante and them noticed that something was off with him, but they never fathomed that he was off his pills because he's always pretty much been good about taking them, for the last few years. I think the last time he was off his meds was probably like, 2014, maybe 2013, somewhere around there was when he was off of them. So it's been some time since he was off those meds. Well, I ain't even gonna say that. He was off of them when he was in Nixon Falls, but that was a little bit different though, because he didn't have his pills with him. But yeah, so they knew something was off, but they just didn't think that. But she still could have told somebody. And Carly basically came to the realization that Sonny didn't tell her because he don't trust her anymore. And I think that conversation that they had was the kick in the pants that she needed to tell her, like, hey, I'm doing the right thing. Let's go ahead and sign these papers. And that's what Sonny did. He took out his pen, signed the papers. She took out the papers and a pen. She signed the papers. And, soon they're going to put it through the courts and it's going to be official. And I think they're doing the right thing for now. I really do. Because they've had several conversations to try to fix their marriage and it never worked. So I think they're doing it right. And I think they need to go ahead and just move on with their day, with their life. Go ahead and do it. It was a kind of bittersweet to watch them sign those papers, but it needed to be done. So anyway, moving on from that, I'm glad, Chase had somebody to talk to. I'm glad Finn was there trying to, give him some clarity on the situation with BLQ. Apparently she went back to Bensonhurst to stay with Lois for a while or whatever. I thought Lois' ass was in London last I heard. I heard she was managing singing groups or whatever in London. I guess she back in Bensonhurst. Chase thinks that she ran away probably because of him or whatever. I'm like, no, I think it was a combination of things. I think it's because of her feelings for him that she's probably still trying to sort out, just like he's trying to sort them out. And I also think it's because of the whole Bailey mess. She just needed a quick little break. And that's all I think it is. And I agree with Finn. I feel like Chase needs to hang in there. And when BLQ comes back, I think they need to have a conversation. I really do. I think they need to have a convo and figure out their feelings for each other and go from there. Because it's clear that he's feeling her. Like when he first met BLQ, he thought she was just some stuck-up rich girl, whatever, some little heiress, wanting to cause trouble and, stuff like that. But after getting to know her with all the Bailey mess and stuff like that, he saw the real her. Like, he saw beyond the surface. You know what I'm saying? He saw her vulnerabilities. And that's what attracts him to her. You know what I mean? Because he sees what others may not see about her, that she doesn't show on the surface. So I think that's what he likes about her. And I think they should explore their relationship because they look hot as hell together. The chemistry is definitely there. They're definitely opposites, as Finn pointed out. They're polar opposites, but I think that's a good thing. Hell, look at Tracy and Luke. Polar opposites, but they've worked. The chemistry's been fire between them for years. Opposites attract. That old saying is still true to this day. Opposites do attract. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen when they have that sit down and they really talk about their feelings, because I think it'll be good. I completely understand why Chase doesn't want to go there right now, because he doesn't want to do anything that's gonna mess up their friendship. But sometimes you got to take a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, closed mouths don't get fed. So it's like if you really feeling her like that, go for it. So anyway, this is a pretty decent episode. I enjoyed it. Hit the comments, let me know what you all thought, and I'll see you all later. Have a great night. Peace.